Hey! Everybody get up! Everybody get up! Yeah, welcome to Anita Vita Rise. Alright, everybody. Welcome. It's Anita Vita Rise. Anita Vita Rise. Yeah. Anita Vita Rise. Yeah. Anita Vita Rise. Yeah. Who can make it better? Anita Vita Rise. In all types of weather, Anita Vita Rise. Get you back together, Anita Vita Rise. Go send her a letter, Anita Vita Rise. Anita Vita Rise. Anita Vita Rise, yeah. Anita Vita Rise, yeah, yeah. Anita Vita Rise.
Welcome to another episode of Rise with Anita Vita. I'm your host, Anita Vita, Master Medical Qigong teacher and healer. As you know, this show aims to empower women, inspire them, and amplify their voices through sharing their stories, because in doing so, it leads a ripple effect of healing to the world. Tonight's guest is an amazing woman. She is a soul sister of mine. She's a spiritual organizer. She's a super mama and an amazing entrepreneur. Please welcome my dear, dear friend, Fredalyn Pamatmat.
Hi!
Hi, beautiful sister.
What's going on? How are you?
Girl life. It
Hey.
has been a doozy all of July and moving into August with this fun Leo energy. I know your birthday is also coming up. Or wait, when is your birthday? Because I know you're a Leo.
Saturday.
It is coming up.
Saturday.
So there's a ton of just fiery energy. And honestly, trying to honor the rest and the pause and the stillness before this next transition into the season. So let everybody know who you are, why you're so amazing, because I already know all of that, and let them know what's going on. Let us know what's going on in your life right now.
Of course. First off, thank you for having me on your show. It's such a treat. I'm Fredalyn Pamatmat, spiritual life organizer. I focus on inner work, helping you guide you through your finances, and basically organize any area of your life. I have a passion. I have many things going on. As you know, Anita, I'm passionate about children and I'm passionate about serving, but I feel right now about that whole Leo season. I've been on hiatus a couple of months, and it's because I know that there's new things that are birthing in my life. And I know, especially coming out of COVID, a lot of it has to do with where do we go from here? Like, we're wearing masks, we're vaccinated, we're not. And it's kind of like just being grounded and not paying attention to the noise. So that's what's really going on. But I have so much to share with you, and I know we're going to talk about it. So
Thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
no, it's my honor. Thank you.
So fun fact, real quick. I reconnected, Fredalyn and I reconnected at a dear friend's, a fellow soul sister's women's circle. Her name's Angela. You can catch her on a previous few episodes. She was also a special guest on my show. And I was looking at Fredalyn, I was like, she looks so familiar. And then at the end, she comes up to me. And you guys, in this circle, we are like bawling our eyes out, sharing our hearts. You know, Angela just does such a great job in holding that space for all of us. And I was like, oh my gosh, Fredalyn, I haven't seen you since was it confirmation or communion?
We were like in junior high school.
Yeah, it was junior high. I
And it
saw
was
that
like
photo
years.
and I wish I had it right now.
I
Anyhow,
have it, but I don't know. I'll share it with you and you can add it on later. But yes.
yeah. So just isn't that interesting? Just how really God brought us back together again, and now we're here, empowering the people around us as well. And she gets to be on my platform to share her beautiful gifts. And I love that you said, Anita, there's so many things that's happening in my life right now, all these projects. And what I'm most passionate about is the children's ministry and now spiritually organizing all of your life structures. Yet at the same time, you said, I'm birthing so much. How aligned is that with your birthday coming up this Saturday as you're rebirthing, right? This newness of you, and the
Yes.
stillness was required for you to do that. So when you say grounded and taking that pause for yourself, what did that look like?
Well, for me, it's like with the pandemic and with everything that went on before, we quarantined, my life was chaotic. No schedule, no routine. It was just constantly on the go. It came to the point where I was on Zoom, as many people were. I was on Zoom, and there was this one time in my career, career was going great, team was growing, and my daughter would come into the room and would be like, Mama, and I'm on a one-on-one with a client over Zoom, and I caught myself and I was like, I literally just put my hand up like this. And after, like, the moment I did that, my heart crumbled because it made me realize, like, I'm here connecting virtually with another family, trying to help another family, but I'm putting my own family in the back burner. It was like my daughter was here asking for my help, asking for my attention. And I literally just went, and that moment, it was such an awakening because I realized, like, we're going through this whole process. Things happen to us for a reason. And if we don't catch it, we may miss it and you'll lose the lesson that's intended to be learned. And so that moment, I realized, like, I need to restructure my life. I was complete chaos and everything was great. And I was always on the go and everything else was great. But you know how they say when everything else is great, some things suffer. And I knew I had to start putting my priorities together and started getting aligned with what's really meant for me rather than getting pulled in a direction of where I needed to be. Yes, look at my family. It's so crazy how little they are. They grow fast. They grow really fast. So that was one of my turning points that made me realize, you know what? I need to get grounded. I need to start having a morning routine. I shouldn't be about what people need from me, which a lot of entrepreneurs can say, like, oh, we need you here, we need you there. You really have to, for me, stay grounded and stick to your morning routines or your routines that are going to fill you so you can fill into others.
What was the routine that was inspired for you
Morning
to create?
routine, believe it or not, it's the Morning Miracles. It was one of the books that really shifted. So it was basically waking up extra early, really grounding myself through meditation, whether it's like listening to worship music and spending that time journaling in the morning or at night. And it's basically just giving myself that moment of silence rather than like waking up exactly 10 minutes before the girls wake up, ready for breakfast, ready for all of this. It was like I saw the pause. And when I started rearranging my time and my rituals, everything started to start flowing. And it was like, oh, it doesn't have to be that hard. It doesn't have to be that busy. There's a certain flow that I started to create in my life. And it really overflows through my daughters because now they're like, okay, I can wake up. My daughter, we have the alarm for summer set at 8:30, but because they want to wake up early and they want time to themselves, my youngest one will wake up at 8 o'clock just to do a 20-minute read. Like, she reads Dogman comic books, but it's kind of like she wakes up early before her sister, so she has that time for herself. And I think that was so important, and that was a revelation within itself, to be able to be like, okay, this is that pause that we needed as a family.
I commend you for recognizing that that's an awakening for you and that you did something about it right away. Yeah. And now you get to model that to your daughter. Me time early on. Man, if I knew about me time when I don't know, how old are your kids now?
7 and 8. 7
Yep.
and 8.
Wow. They are going to be some empowering women for sure already.
Yeah.
What are you currently, what's that? Go ahead.
I said that's what we hope for.
So now that you're a bit more grounded and getting ready to birth, what are we birthing?
So one of my main focuses is basically the children's ministry for Congregation Family. I work alongside some amazing people, and what we're doing is just getting the word of God out and teaching parents how to build a foundation. A lot of us older generations, I've realized, is that we're trying to fix ourselves. We're trying to figure out how to do it ourselves. How can we do it? And really, I believe we were talking about this fellowship. I believe that it takes the whole tribe, it takes the full village, it takes community. And sometimes it's our very own children that can heal us, or that are the gifts that are brought to us to be able to heal from any past hurt or past trauma. And sometimes as parents, it's like, oh, I'm going to fix my faith, I'm going to work on myself, when really it should be a collaboration. It should be a family. It should be a husband and wife. It should be brothers and sisters, rather than this division of like, oh, you're going through your thing, you go through it. It should be more collectively, where, you know what, we're going to grow together in this area. We're going to get better at talking, or we're going to get better at communicating with one another, and we're going to do it together. And that's one of the things of the children's ministry that makes our church so special, is that I feel like it's no divisions. It's let's meet each other where you're at, and let's grow together so that we can help uplift one another. So that's one of them. And the other one is in memory of my dear friends, Lance and Mary Funaoka. We lost both of them the past year, and they leave behind 3 kids, Elias, Mila, and Tyus. And my girlfriend Mary is so, like, she's always a forward thinker. She was always pouring life. Like, even if she was going through battling cancer, you never really knew what she was going through. And one of the things I admired about her, like, she was always thinking about other, and she was like a planner. Anita, this woman plans like no other. She can get a group of 60 people and travel to another state. She traveled through all of the baseball stadiums, and bless her heart, when she was diagnosed with cancer, she had told me, she was like, Fredalyn, you're an advocate. Like, she came to me when she found out that she wanted to know, as a child who lost their mom, how it was for me. And that was one of the biggest fears that she had, was like, my daughter is going to be about the same age you were when you lost your mom. How was it for you? And that conversation shifted, and it planted a seed in me that I never knew what it was ready to birth until we lost her. And she was always worried about her kids, and I literally poured life back into her. Like, you know what? I know God, I truly believe God, universe, whatever it is you believe in, that we're put into every single situation and every single moment of our life to either teach a person, to learn, or to provide value in a huger scale. And I told her, you know what? I was like, if I wasn't for me losing my mom at 5 years old, I don't think I would be the mother I am. I don't think I'd have the resilience. I don't think I would have the courageousness to continue to keep going. And I go, you have a moment right now to pour into your kids, to pour into everyone around you, which she did. And now that I see it come to life, like, all she wanted was security to make sure that her kids were going to go to school and that they didn't have to suffer the way I did. And it didn't make sense. Like, I came out of college, I got my master's, got my bachelor's, everything like that. My dad didn't know what I was doing, but I did it on my own. And I was, one point in my life, Anita, $80,000 in debt. There was one time in my life where I owed IRS $23,000 before I even turned 21. And it was like all of these things that were happening to me. I'm like, what is going on? Like, oh, this must be a curse. So, you start thinking and feeding to what people are telling you. Oh, you're just bad with money. And I'm like, it's not that I'm bad with money. I was like, I'm supposed to learn from this. How do I get myself out of this? How do I pay less taxes? How do I take care of my finances properly? And it's like, now that I have that responsibility and that promised her that I was going to help her kids, teach her kids about finances, and help make sure that they go to a college without any financial burden, it's like, this is what I'm called to do. And it's like, they always say the biggest tragedies come the biggest blessings. And I mean, it's amazing and beautiful to know that I'm on your show and we had communion together, and it's like, here we are, and you're changing the world. It just mind boggles me in every area. So when I say I'm birthing new things and I needed that time to be still, it was, sometimes we don't realize it unless we really figure out and get clear what it is and what's our purpose. So, yeah, that's a lot.
And it's beautiful. Thank you. If there is more, please keep going.
No, that's basically it. We are starting a non-for-profit to help orphans, underprivileged children who don't have their parents to go to school, teach them finances, and finding people to work alongside me. So if you know anyone, please don't hesitate to reach out, because I know I cannot do it by myself. And I know there's a lot more smarter people out there. If you're in for the cause and you know a kid or know anybody, if your family has been impacted, reach out to me. And I promise you, I will do everything I can to get you the resources or to find you somebody that can get you the help you need, because the struggle is real.
What a beautiful legacy to leave for her children and all these other, children that is in the same situation that you get to lead.
Yeah.
From love. And I know, because y'all are my audience, you are also one who serves. You're one who empowers and inspires. I know we will be reaching out to Fredalyn.
Yes.
Including myself.
I'm always here for you, Anita.
Thank you, sister. And just because I'm curious, at 21 years old, I'm going to circle back. How did you get yourself out of $80,000 in debt, and including owing the IRS money and, wherever else all of these liens are coming from.
So how the IRS came after me, because when I was 18, I lost my mom at 5 years old to breast cancer. And when I turned 18, I inherited funds from my mom. I didn't get it when she immediately passed because I was underage. So at 18, I get this $65,000 check. Didn't know, I wasn't told I was going to receive it. And it just happened. A mail of $65,000 came into the mail, and I was like, hey, didn't ask. My dad was like, oh yeah, it's from me, your mom. Like, didn't know if I had to file for taxes, wasn't sure of any of that. And so circle back 18, I filed taxes. Mind you, I had an uncle that did my taxes and didn't even tell me I had to report that as an income. So by the time I turned 20, the IRS, I get this letter, oh, you have this income that was not, you unreported income, and you're due $17,000 in taxes. And I'm like, knowing darn well that $60,000 is already gone. Like, we went to a down payment for a house with me and my dad, bought my first car, and it was gone. And I was like asking my dad, I was like, was I supposed to report taxes? He's like, I don't know, you should have asked your uncle. Like, this, it's so important about finances and resources, because sometimes we hear about it and it's like, it doesn't pertain to me, when really we should look more into it. And so what ended up happening was, that time I was working 3 jobs, and I had, of course, a lien on my bank account. So even if I was making $1,200, I was literally only getting $200, and I was working 3 jobs. And so I slowly paid that off. It took me about a year to pay that off. And what I did was, I did a lot of babysitting jobs at that time. I was trying to work under the table, just trying to make extra income, or else I was like, if it was a birthday or something, I would literally return my gifts that were given to me, and I would just pay off the IRS. Like, I would sell things. It was, when you're in that hole, you just try to figure out ways and resources to get out of it. And so that happened, and I was like, yay, I'm free of the IRS. I can breathe again.
Yeah.
And years after, 2006, I decided I wanted to go get my bachelor's and my master's degree. And my dad's like, you know what, just work. All you have to do is work. And sure enough, I graduated within 4 years, got my degrees, and it was like, oh, here's a bill for all your loans. I didn't know. I just knew that I thought was free money, which wasn't free money. And, like, so many people go through it. And now it was like the same thing. Where can I invest my money to have the biggest return, so I can use the gains of that return to pay off my debt? A lot of people, what they do is they're usually like, oh, I'll just put this much aside from my paycheck, when really, how can you really have your money working for you so that you can get it back out? Whether it's investments, or whether it's calling your school loans and be like, how can I get this off? Or there's like calling grants. So it was a lot of tedious work, but I'm so grateful because I was able to pay off that $80,000 within 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of sacrifices, but it's like, I look back at it now and I'm like, I would have been a mess if that stuff didn't go through. I would have been a mess. I wouldn't been able to, like, especially with the pandemic, I wouldn't be able to be where I'm at and move my finances, or like, how can I save on taxes? How can I budget? It's like a lot of things that just put me in the situation. So I'm grateful for those times. But there's so many resources that I can help you with, whether it's debt consolidation or refinancing or any of those. I have the resources to help everyone, because it you can it's tough to do it alone. Like, most people say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I got it. I'll do it by myself." And it's like 3 years later, 4 years, and it's like, "Wait, my 4,000 turned into 10,000. How is that?" Like, so whether it's even lowering your interest, a lot of people don't realize, like, the credit card interest. So that's another thing I'm really passionate about, and have a team to help with all of that free, valuable information.
Thank you for sharing all of your financial wisdom. And I know a lot of people go through this, and I'm so I want you guys to all notice that Fredalyn knows that there's a ton of resources, and I want to recognize in her that she's her resourcefulness. If you notice, she's very solution driven. And at that young age, it's like you get to choose in the circumstances that was placed before you to overcome it, or not, or be a victim to it.
Yeah.
And it strengthened you, which led to and prepared you. And we were talking about that, right? Preparing you for the next big thing, the next big calling, the next big awakening. And now, look at you now, shining so bright. And keeping in the theme of opening up August for Grow, what does Grow mean to you? And what would you love the young youth and the youth right now, what would you want them to know and lead with?
The growth for me right now is basically, don't stop learning. Like, you always come to an age and people are like, "Oh, I'm going to retire." There's no such thing as retirement in my vocabulary. Like, I think every single day is a new time to grow. I think we can experience new things every single day. And I want to teach the youth that never stop believing that that's all you have. Like, a lot of times, it's like, "Oh, you got your master's." Well, why not? Hey, my pops, why not get your master's in something else? If you're not passionate about what you're doing, learn about something else and find a passion in another thing. That's actually us at a couples retreat, Anita. So, I mean, I'm all for growing and helping everyone else grow, but don't stop. Like, I think in our generation, it was like, once you go to high school, you go to college, and that's it. You find a job. Like, right? Oh, you're going to be a nurse. You're going to be a nurse forever. Oh, you're going to be a teacher, right? This is all you have. And it's like, no, I believe we're creators in nature, and that we can always evolve in so many ways. And I love what you're doing, is because you're bringing out this passion in every woman. I've seen the shows, like, everyone comes up and they're like, "Oh, hey, this is a new idea. Hey, this is a new burning desire. And I truly believe that's how life should be, is always evolving, because the more we evolve, the generations after us get better. The more we get better, everything else behind us just follows. And it, like, they want to start growing. They want to go after more. So I think that's truly important, is to be that example of, like, I don't want to stop. Like, people are like, "Oh, you already have your finance. You already have this. You already have that." And I'm like, I don't want my girls to say, "Oh, she just had and she did this." I want when I pass away, I want my girls to say, you know what? Mom went after it all. She didn't let nothing stop her. She went after anything and everything. And that's what I want to leave to anyone of the youth or anyone that's watching, is like, there's no limitations to what any of us can do.
Powerful, powerful words, sis. Ooh, girl, preach. I'll go to your ministry. Can I know it's all youth, but can I come in?
You definitely can. You'll have a lot of fun. You'll have a lot of fun. I'll share with you the episodes that I do. You'll love it.
Please do. Oh, yes. Speaking of episodes, you also have a YouTube channel. Yes.
It's through congregation.family, and it's also with the Little World Shakers. So follow us on Instagram, congregation.family, or Little World Shakers.
Beautiful, sis. How else can we support you aside from bringing you our world changers and leaders to help you with your not-for-profit? How else do we get in touch with you? And how can we support?
If you know anyone, just share my Instagram, Fredalyn.Pamatmat. If you know anyone that needs financial resources or needs inner healing, inner work, I have that. I mean, working alongside with Anita, you guys know where to go. But I mean, it's just basically word of mouth, right? Growing the community together. And if one of the things I wanted to share, last things I do want to share, is that if you're going through any financial difficulties or any trauma, know that you don't have to go through it by yourself. And I know, Anita, you can vouch for that right now. Like, going through anything by yourself is not going to make it any. Look at that,
girl.
That was your second.
It was my last one. It was my Tiaras and Tea event for the Modern Day Woman when we network. Yes, I got to bring it back. Thank you. You're such a supportive soul. Well, now we have ideas, sister.
Yeah.
We have ideas brewing. Fredalyn was talking about how community is so important, and that knowing your tribe or it takes a village, and know that we both go through this. Yes, we teach. Yes, we have workshops. Yes, we have clients. Yes, we're serving. Yet we also have to be at a high level for ourselves so we can continue to pour. Yeah. Right? To stay full. And that's what I was having trouble with. So I reached out to her a few days ago for something completely different. And, when you're guided, that's just what happens, right? You're scheduled for something else, for a talk or a meeting, and then it becomes completely something else. And it was so beautiful. And sometimes for women, we just want to be seen, heard, supported, and be okay with knowing that it's okay to receive help or support. And for some reason, help is just like, I don't need help. I could stay strong forever. So if you're a peak performer, very high level practitioner in the work that you're doing, you're going to need those people to hold you down and just be like, hey, you can soften. Like, no matter what, this is no judgment on how, who you are as a person, as a mom, as a wife, as a business owner. None of that stuff matters. What ends up happening is you just recognize the humanness in each other. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, man, I just need somebody to shift my perspective on something, or give me ideas, or give me creativity, inspire me. And that's what ended up happening every time her and I get together. And every time I call her, it's at the depths of something really, really crazy, of the awakening. I'm almost through it. And it's a process. And so I'm so grateful that you came, Fredalyn. I appreciate you and I love you. And I can't wait to co-create with you, because I know you're going to come back on the show, announce more amazing things. And I know that we are both going to do something really great together very, very soon.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you and love you dearly.
Flying kiss. I love you, sister. Till next time. How amazing was that? I hope you were inspired. I hope you feel connected. And I hope that you know you are never alone in what you are doing. And be open to receiving support. It's okay to ask for support. Know that you're never alone, and know that if you feel like you are alone, know that there's me and Fredalyn right now. So I thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, if there's somebody that you know and love who could be on the show, who is inspiring, who you would like to shine light on their gifts, please let them know. Share this episode. It's been a wild ride to hit just my 13th so far. I don't want to say just, I want to celebrate that it's been growing. There's some amazing news I can't wait to share with you all very, very soon. And until next time, I root for your rise. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Anita Vita rise, yeah. Anita Vita rise, yeah. Anita Vita rise.